What's up everyone, Darcblade here bringing you a video review for the God of War Ascension multiplayer beta. Now this is a beta, and even though I am reviewing this, a lot of things will change. This is basically a first impressions review after spending the entire weekend and part of last week playing the beta. Now, the beta is only for the multiplayer part of God of War Ascension, so I can't comment on the single player at all. Anyway, the multiplayer beta was available to anyone who was participating in the Rise of the Warrior minigame. Now, there were two teams in the Rise of the Warrior minigame, the Spartans and the Trojans. Now, the Spartans won this little mini battle that was going on and thus got early access to the beta. But now, both teams should have access to the early multiplayer beta. The Spartans were given access in North America on the 12th of December and in Europe on the 15th of December. The Trojans, who lost their Rise of the Warrior competition, were given access on the 17th of December. Now, for those of you who didn't participate in the Rise of the Warrior minigame, then you'll be able to access the God of War Ascension multiplayer beta from the 8th of January as long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Anyway, let's talk about what the multiplayer beta is all about. The game itself is pretty much a 3D fighting game. You run around a map and just beat each other up. There are more elements, of course, depending on what game type mode you're playing. Also, the combat feels a bit like a chess match or a rock paper scissors match. For example, you can block light attacks, but you can't really dodge them. You can dodge heavy attacks, but you can't block them, so on and so forth. Add to this magical attacks, defensive parry abilities, items, environmental hazards, makes the game very tactical if you put the time and effort to learn the mechanics of it. Unfortunately, sometimes this can all come down to button mashing though, especially when things get a little bit too hectic or there are newcomers to the game. You get to create a character, choose which god he's aligned to, you get to choose your weapons, armor, all within certain limits. As you play more matches, you will level up too, which will unlock more armor and more equipment for your character. Anyway, the game modes in God of War Ascension's multiplayer beta are Team Favour of the Gods and Favour of the Gods. Favour of the Gods is a free-for-all mode featuring 4 players who are all fighting each other to try to get the best score and win the match. Now, Team Favour of the God is a bit like Domination or Capture the Points. Basically, there are 2 teams of 4 and each are vying over the various objectives on the map. At the moment, there is only one map available for each game type. For Favour of the Gods, the map is a simple arena, but it is filled with spikes around the walls, as well as arrow showers coming down every now and again. Team Favour of the Gods is a much bigger arena, and it has a wonderful aspect to it, and that is Polyphemus, the Titan Cyclops in the background, who can affect how the game will end. He can damage players and even kill them when they're trying to capture points around the map. But on top of that, on both maps actually, when a certain point limit is reached, then the Spear of Olympus will fall down from the skies. If a player manages to pick up this spear, then he's able to dish out a lot of damage. And in Team Favour of the Gods, he's even able to hurt and possibly kill Polyphemus. Killing this titan will grant your team 1,000 points, and if you're actually close to winning, it will just instantly win the match for you. This all makes getting the Spear of Olympus a great incentive for your team. Graphically, this beta looks fantastic. It's a God of War game after all, and even though this isn't the finished product, it still looks fantastic in my opinion. The character models, armor, weapons, magical effects all look fantastic, and add to that they have some wonderfully visceral and bloody brutal kills that makes the multiplayer feel like it's a part of the God of War universe. The sound design is very good with some beautifully rendered musical scores to follow the action that's going on screen. This is all making me very excited for the final product. Now remember that this is a beta and things are likely to change. There is most likely to be balancing issues with weapons and magic and so on, but for me the biggest thing that needs a little bit of fixing is the fact that the teams are so small. I know it's designed around having small teams and that, but unfortunately in Team Objective, I mean Team Favour of the Gods modes, if you have a player down on your team, you are 99% likely to lose that match. You might not, especially if you have a team of good players in that, but if a team is a player down, in my experience so far, the match has always ended in a loss. This is really the only thing that Santa Monica Studios really needs to address, in my opinion. But maybe they'll work a way around it. Maybe they'll give an advantage or a handicap to the players with less people on their team. I don't know. Anyway, this is a beta, and working out the kinks is what a beta is for. Overall, I'm really enjoying the God of War Ascension multiplayer beta. I didn't think I would, but I'm quite surprised. It's actually quite fun to play. The gameplay is not bad, especially once you get used to the mechanics, and it really does feel a part of the God of War universe. I cannot wait for the finished product to be... All this makes me very excited for the actual product's final release date in March 2013. Anyway, I've been Darcblade, bringing you my video review for the God of War Ascension multiplayer beta. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.